Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel. New surroundings again. I've moved house for probably the 10th time during the duration of this YouTube channel. So we're in the kitchen, there's a load of boxes around me, there is stuff going on, but hopefully we can get back into the daily routine of double uploads before pre-season begins. And happily now, Pochettino isn't just announced as the manager, but he's announced himself with an opening interview at Cobham, conducted of course by Lee Parker. It's a really good interview. It gets me excited, and I think to summarise, everything Pochettino has said is what we want to hear, but for some reason, I don't like to use the word aura, but I'm going to have to use the word aura here because comparatively, when you see Pochettino stepping out the car, walking into the interview, talking in the interview, you just get a feeling, at least I do, I get this feeling that there is a proper elite football manager who has the capacity and the mental toughness to deal with the transition period that has taken Chelsea a whole year of time to realise, well, now we're here. And after such a poor season with Tuchel being sacked, Graham Potter coming in, that not working, Lampard coming in, that not working, just to hear a manager speak confidently and understand what is important for the club. Not just for the players, not just for him, not for the owners, but to connect again with the fans. And I'm going to go through Pochettino's interview today and elaborate a bit more on my feelings about what he said. Before I do that though, I've extended the ticket giveaway for Chelsea versus Liverpool. Link in the description to my Telegram. If you're not yet following it, all you got to do, jump in there. 2 VIP tickets to Chelsea versus Liverpool, and I'm going to delay the announcement for maybe a couple more weeks so you guys have got more time to get in. And of course, pre-season, Chelsea playing against flipping Wrexham, Ryan Reynolds, Ben Foster. That is less than 3 weeks away now. So when it comes to transfers, when it comes to outgoings, so far, I'm very, very happy with the way things are going. But before we talk about players, let's take a look at what Pochettino has said. Welcome to Chelsea, Mauricio. Firstly, what attracted you and your team to the project here at the club? Thank you very much. For me, it's a pleasure and honour to now be involved with Chelsea Football Club. We are so excited, and I know Chelsea very well. It's one of the greatest clubs in the world, so of course, it was easy for us to make the decision to move here. We're so happy that today we can start at Cobham in the training ground and meet the people and the staff. It's exciting for us, and what we want is to bring the happiness again to this great football club. We will work hard, play in a way the fans can enjoy, and the history of Chelsea is to win. But it is important also in the way we are going to build those victories. When I say this is everything we want to hear, it is actually everything that I want to hear. To talk about the happiness, that is something that as a Chelsea fan, even with the craziness of the transfer window, being happy that Nkunku's here, Gusto's here, Jackson's come in, to hear the bigger picture from the man who's going to be in charge day by day at Cobham, running the sideline game by game, to hear that bringing happiness back is at the forefront of everybody's mind, in my opinion, is the starting block, the foundation for how we build the victories. So Pochettino talks about building how we do these victories. This is how we play. And in terms of happiness levels, in order for players to be taught things, in order for players to buy into ideologies, to buy into plans, they've got to arrive at Cobham and be happy. They have got to be aware that the club, including everyone, fans, board, managers, players, everyone needs to be heading in the same direction. And I think when it comes to building happiness, these are the foundations to know that everything that's going to be done day by day is starting with a plan, and everything is about seeing that through in the name of winning football matches, which is what Chelsea are all about. You mentioned the history. How important is that and the culture of the club? I think it's important, and it's a culture of winning. In the last 10, 12, 15 years, Chelsea is the greatest team in England. I know very well the Premier League and what the culture of Chelsea means. I think our fans are excited to be again on the road to trying to win. Now, if you want to be skeptical about this, 10, 12, 15 years, you'd probably say that Pep Guardiola's 7 Premier Leagues at Man City, now they've got the Champions League to add to that. You could argue that Pochettino is playing it up a little bit here because that's what we believe, that's what we want to hear. But the cynics amongst everybody will be like, well, sorry mate, City have got that one. But actually, this is, in terms of winning things, right? Liverpool won Premier League, they've won the Champions League. Chelsea have been doing this consistently over the course of time. Yes, we've not won a Premier League since 2017. And I think this has got to be the goal. Winning the Champions League under Tuchel, when you look at that squad, when you look at that team who have played, and only Thiago Silva, Reece James, Ben Chilwell remain at the club, it kind of, not to belittle the achievement, but it does make that achievement seem a little bit on the fluky side, to the point where Chelsea, in terms of sustainable success, that Champions League win came absolutely out of nowhere. No one expected us to win it. On the grander scheme of how Tuchel's reign was, we were never, other than in that Champions League run, we were never dominant. We never really, start of the season, before Chilwell and James got injured, then everything capitulated in Tuchel's last full season at the club. Only during that 8-month window did Chelsea look real special. And I think what Pochettino is saying about winning cultures, about working out the ways to build victories, is about making Chelsea competitive, not just in one knockout round of games in the Champions League to then somehow win the trophy. It's about how do we make sure when the Premier League is becoming more competitive, when Europe is becoming more competitive at the highest level, how do we ensure that season after season we are in the conversation? And I think for me, as a fan, that is what I want to see us do. I don't want to see Champions League win and then 24 months where there's turmoil, we finish 12th, we go through 3 or 4 managers, and the cycle repeats again. And I think with Pochettino, we said it before when he was first announced as a manager, I think right now at this point in his career, this is the right move for him. There is a club that are willing to back him, and it took me 7 minutes to bring up Spurs, but realistically, at PSG, there is only really one goal, and if you don't achieve it, it's failure. At Tottenham, failure is acceptable. Pochettino, I think, is a manager who, with the right backing, foundations, can actually really go far. And I think at Chelsea, it is the right platform to be able to do that. Of course, we're excited. We are excited to work with a very young team, with a different approach than in the past. I think that's from his side as well. He is a manager who has developed a style, developed and understood that being a little bit set in your ways at the beginning of his managerial career, now, through experience, he can adapt, he can mould with what he's got. But I think we all need to understand that we have to work really hard and create a very good atmosphere at the training ground to build success for the team in the next few years. That basically backs up everything we just said. The profile of squad has changed a lot over the past 12 months. How big an opportunity does that give you and your coaching team? It's exciting for us because we love good players, obviously, everybody does. Players with the capacity and then talent, but also we want people who want to be with us at this club and be really open to help the club achieve what we want. I think this is acknowledgement that over the course of the decline in the past year since Bowley came in, we can say that it's the fault of the owners. We can say that it is the fault of some of the players, and maybe this rebuild isn't just reactionary to the bad results that we had last season. This rebuild has been about Chelsea get new owners, Chelsea want a new identity, but how do we change that new identity without doing a deep clean at the club? And I think Poch knows that this opportunity, with the way that we've spent loads of money, we're investing tons more money in players for the future. We've offloaded loads of players already. And I think a lot of the negativity surrounding the club would have been fueled by players who felt as though they'd either done enough at Chelsea and wanted the next step, Havertz to Arsenal, Kovacic to City, Mount to Man United. And at the same time, it's now a chance for Pochettino to look at the youth, look at some of these players that have signed 6, 7, 8, 9-year deals and figure out, even if they're not academy boys, who are the Chelsea players here? Who are the ones that want to work with him, but also see Chelsea as the move? This is the point in their career where they can lay their own foundations for what will hopefully be their success, but at the same time, it's all done with the club's best interests at heart. Players that Pochettino wants are players that want to be here, that want to buy into the style, that want to buy into the fact that we might not win the Premier League every year because we're competing with other juggernauts. But what Chelsea need to do is sustainably keep ourselves in the conversation, and the way to do that without having these cycles of every couple of years there's a massive fallout, no one likes Chelsea anymore, we finished 12th in the Premier League. The only way to ensure that from happening is if everybody walking into the training ground, walking into Stamford Bridge, jumping on the bus for an away game, everybody knows what we're all about. And I think what I've seen as a fan for the past year is there doesn't seem to be an identity at Chelsea. And I think a lot of that has been down to when you've got a coach, when you've got staff, when you've got a manager, you end up trying to work with that. But if the feeling's not right in the first place, you know that guy's going to be gone. In the process of that guy disappearing, what do we have? Someone to come in and pick up the pieces again, but the pieces are broken. The puzzle doesn't fit. And I think Pochettino is looking at what he's going to do here at Chelsea and thinking, we could probably make two puzzles here with 200 pieces, but we only need 100. So between all of those different pieces, we can fit things together our way, but the pieces do fit. And that is why having such a massive squad was a curse, because the people in charge didn't know what to do with the pieces. Now, top quality manager, someone who's good with people, brings his own staff in, still a few staff from the Potter reign, we've got to figure out what's going to happen there. But with Pochettino, the pieces will fit depending on what he is given, but at the same time, with that ideology in mind as to how it should look, Pochettino, I think, is the right man for the job. I don't really need to go into any more of the interview. You guys can watch it for yourself. But I wanted to give my thoughts here in the first video of today, because when you hear everything that you want to hear, you can then start putting the pieces together, because there's no place to be negative anymore. I want this channel now to be a place where you guys come and get as excited as I am for Wrexham in pre-season and the Pochettino era. And as much as he wasn't my first choice, now you hear the man speak, he's my manager. I back him. If you guys do as well, hit the like button on this video and stay tuned later on today for the second video, because there's loads of transfer news and I've been on a little holiday 420ing it up in Thailand. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you are new, come on you Blues.